Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. How's everybody doing today? We're back. We are here. We are not queer. We're not coming for your children. Joni Rankin had to drink Folgers for 2 days until her coffee came. Oh my God, no. Jeffersonian Java is so good. You're right. I'm drinking me some Thomas's painkiller today. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Donald Trump will soon be your president. He's still your president. Donald Trump to go after the deep state. God bless it. In a series of policy statements, Donald Trump outlined his future for 2025. And item number 1, put all of the leftists into concentration camps. Yeah. And they're going to be in Illinois. And J.B. Pritzker is going to go there first. He was pissing me off this morning. I saw J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, the lefty loony, wants to take away all of our guns. He's like, if the government tries to infringe on our freedom here, then we will resist it. I'm like, with what guns, mother? We got more than you do. What are you going to do about it, bitch? I'm going to send you. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to send J.B. Pritzker to fat camp. Yeah, if you keep looking over there at camera 2, that's sad. Stephanie is not there, but she is here. And so is Hazel, the bonus baby, if you unlock the bonus baby. Right now, the bonus baby is like bawling her eyes out. So hopefully we will get to see Hazel by the end of the show. But right, I mean, it was like the crying, the screaming was like, you know how it's like, and then until it finally like devolves into like a, she's like from a monster from a horror movie, like right when the hero kills the monster and they're dying, and it's like, like, is my child dying? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen this situation? That's a genre. All the concentration camp BS is effing hilarious. I'm not laughing because we just elected Adolf Hitler. We will take all the camps, but instead of we're not going to segregate people by race, by class, by gender, minority. No, we're going to segregate people based on their ideological leanings. Anyone to the left of Tulsi Gabbard goes to the camps. The camps. Yes, says my brother Justin Peterson, who will be with us on the show today. Yes. So excited. I'm so scared. Says the camps, brought to you by the same people who are foaming at the mouth to put the unjabbed into camps. But that's different, Justin. Don't you see how that's different? It's always pure projection from the left. Absolutely. And amen and hallelujah. Donald Trump released his plan to dismantle the deep state. And I've got the biggest, weirdest boner right now.
My plan to dismantle the deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all. And corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption. And there are plenty of them.
That might be a good time for me to say thank you to Nelson for two things. One, he did donate $5, but he gave us a lot more than $5 in value this morning because he busted his ass helping us out. And thank you to Stephanie, who is joining us live on the show right now. Hi, Steffi.
Did you all hear Hazel screaming?
Yeah, I was doing an impression of it a little bit earlier where it was like, it had gone beyond like, just like, into like,
Face gets super red.
yes, yeah. So we thought she was at some point you get used to them crying and even crying in weird ways, but sometimes you're kind of like, are they dying? Like, are they sitting on a tack? Right?
Right, because when we cry as adults, it's because something's usually wrong.
Yes. So she's fine.
But for
She's just
her,
tired.
she usually cries right before she sleeps. So it's like the storm gets the worst. Right
Yes, it's
before
like,
the calm.
I'm like drowning in her own fluids, but no, she's good. She's asleep, and Stephanie is with us on set. We got the fam together today.
It's on time, just a little late.
Yes, Justin Peterson will be joining us at 8 a.m. Central Time. So we've got the whole Freedom fam on the show. We've got the bonus baby Cam. So hopefully people will keep sending those Rumble rants to unlock it. Man, the merchandise shop, the merch.
Oh, we've added so much new stuff this week.
Yeah, so we would have had to undergo like a huge overhaul of our website if Trump had lost, because we have so much Trump stuff.
Yeah.
So we were doing a sale for like 25% off all of our Trump stuff. Like we weren't making that much money on those sales and stuff like that, but it was also like this will be our last shot in case. Yeah, and then Trump won, so the prices have gone up. No, we've left the prices the same. But we did create a bunch of awesome holiday merch. I got to say thank you to Brad Beckman, who came on board last week when I was swamped.
He's such a godsend, seriously.
Brad
You
Beckman.
put it out there into the universe that you needed an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
He sent you his resume because he just so happened to be looking for something.
Yeah, he busted his ass. I mean, and now he's trained. He's up to speed. He's making products. We've got a bunch of new Christmas holiday stuff. Mm-hmm. The new Department of Government Efficiency merch is quite splendid.
That's awesome. I'd say we're probably the first ones to make that type of merch.
Yeah, we are. And then also the Liberal Tears mugs, which of course we are going to be enjoying some delicious Liberal Tears today. Yeah. Can't wait to drink them.
I'm surprised there's no rioting yet. I just said that to you yesterday and you're like, well,
it's
they're
coming.
Probably planning it.
Yeah, it's coming. You know, the best day to do a riot to try and decertify the results of the election?
January 20th. The best day.
What day? So the way that this system works is the election is certified by the Senate on what day?
Oh, honestly, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
On what day? Well, it's in.
I'm going to put you in the camps if you don't know the answer to this one.
On election day.
No.
Well, no.
What day does Mike Pence certify the election for Joe Biden in 2020? Remember, it was like 9/11 times 1,000.
Oh, January 6th.
January 6th.
I didn't know why they chose January 6th. So that day was symbolic for a reason?
Well, that's the day. Yeah, because
I thought everybody just gathered on January.
I don't have it saved, unfortunately, but somebody did a perfect tweet because some liberal was crying online about the Trump thing, saying that like, well, we're seeing some irregularities in the thing, and then what they did was the person described exactly the process of what the left should do if they think the election is a fraud, put together an alternate slate of electors, do all this stuff, and then they said if you really are still upset, then you should get together a big march and go there the day of the certification and hold. And what day is that? January 6th. Yes.
That makes sense. I thought they just chose January 6th randomly.
No, that was the day.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Wow, I was totally under a rock.
Remember that video of Josh Hawley like running away?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like he was just like.
Right.
Even though he was like the one starting him up, getting him all excited that day, and then he's like angry that he's. He's like, what, they're busting down the doors over there. But
not in my backyard, right?
Yeah, not everybody was terrified. But it was funny to see. I gave a talk to a economics class out in California recently. And the kids were like, well, what did you think about January 6th? I'm like, I thought it was funny.
Oh my God, the man with the mastodon helmet?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I was laughing. I was like, we should have done that back when they passed the New Deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, so this country is so split apart. We just do not look at things the same way. We don't live on the same planet as people like this.
Just woke up this morning feeling spicy. You guys know what I do. All right. I don't know how to use this thing. Let's see what happens.
What is she doing?
Off hair.
She's shaving her head. Wow, that's Britney Spears style right there.
It's getting hair. Let's see here. Maybe I gotta cut it.
Why would you shave your head after your candidate loses?
She's opting out.
Hair because, right? Fuck coloring my hair. Fuck having my hair be long and luxurious. Fuck all that shit.
Sure. See, this is why when I talk about your hair and all that kind of stuff, like it sounds sexist and patriarchal when I'm like, when a woman shaves her head, it's an act of a screw you to well, not just everybody, but to men. It's seen. You may not like that. You may not agree with it, but it is true that when a woman like chops her hair off, if it's like a wife, it's seen as a disrespect to her husband. Mm-hmm. In the Bible, there's a famous quote that Maya Angelou always quoted, and it was talking about a woman's hair is her glory, and like how everybody like enjoys her hair and how beautiful it is. This is why Muslims are like and Jews like force them to like cover up their hair. A woman's hair, don't look at her hair because her hair is her glory and that's her power to some extent.
Yeah, Jews wear some really nice wigs, so you have no idea if they even have fake hair on.
Yes. So this chick here, the cutting of the hair is very symbolic for women. It means different things. But what we should do...
to me, I think about the Holocaust where they shaved all the...
Well, that's what I was going to say. Before we put these bitches into camps, we need to just do it for them. We should give them the mark. Right. We should force them to put like the little pink triangle because they're all gays. Not normal gays like Justin, but...
Oh, is that the color that the people had to wear?
Yeah, they had to wear the pink if you were gay. So we'll do this, but not as a homosexual kind of a gay, but as like, kind of like gay, you know what I mean? Not in the bad gay, not the good gay.
Right.
So we'll make them wear the pink triangle. We'll put them in the camps and we'll shave their heads before we put them there. They're all going into the camps.
Yeah, it's just so sad how passive aggressive all of their TikTok videos are. It's very cringe.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, it's cringe, but it's also delicious.
I've been telling you, a lot of people that I know on Facebook, I'm friends with a lot of lefties because I was in the social work, field and medical field, and all these women are like, "Go get IUDs, go get Plan B right now, stock up. This is terrible." And it's like, were you not using protection before when you were having sex?
No, and it's like,
were you just like, oh, cool, let me just get pregnant,
have unprotected sex with as many men as possible?
How many abortions are these women really having?
So here's the thing: they're like, oh, we can't have an abortion. We can't have an abortion. So what are they? So what are they doing? They are practicing personal responsibility.
Practicing safe sex, and you know what? I bet there's going to be a second positive outcome that comes from this is lower STD rates.
Yeah.
Hopefully now that these women are finally like, oh, I have to use birth control, or maybe they'll tell the man like, hey, please wear a condom. Maybe that'll reduce the risk of STDs here. So there's a silver lining here.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just hilarious to me because I'm just like, wow. So before you were using abortion as your birth control?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I mean, and it's just such an invasive procedure. Let's not get into it right now. Let's just enjoy a little bit more delicious liberal tears. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Okay.
This was a video that a woman dropped right before the close of the election.
Whenever a woman starts with okay,
yes,
you know it's going to be passive aggressive.
Listen, and when she's got those glasses and she's got that haircut, it's over. Okay, hold on. So enjoy this.
Okay, so we're closing in on almost 5 p.m. Eastern time, and I've been tracking everything that's been going on across the country today. And my most important encounter was when I went out to get my champagne.
Why do they laugh so much?
I don't know. Because they're so arrogant.
The guy in the store,
they're condescending.
Of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard.
We're going to talk about that.
Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh.
You can take every one of the swing states plus Iowa.
The numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now.
She's a political analyst. Yeah, she's a political analyst. She gave herself that title.
On CNN?
No.
And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right?
What a biatch.
I didn't care.
I want to slap her.
And happily walked home.
I'm so glad I decided to post that.
Is there a post-election video that this woman made?
I'm sure she's probably
she's sobbing.
She's probably deleted all her social media and all that kind of stuff. We were having this conversation in the car ride on the way over here because, of course, War of the Sexes was a big important part of this. And when we saw the early exit polls and things, it was like, 10% women voting, over men. It's like huge. But we had a shaming campaign, and I participated in it here on this show, We Men, because while you ladies were all out there getting your Starbucks lattes while the rest of us men were at our jobs doing our work, and you guys are making the 5'2" with an attitude. Itty bitty titties and a bob. Itty bitties and a bit of titties and a bob. Right? While you guys were like slacking off and then doing all your early voting, and then harassing us men and talking down to us and condescending to us about how girls run the world, girls who run the world, girls. The men, many of them just silently said, I'm tired of this shit. And they walked into the voting booth and they voted to make men great again and to make America.
That's right. Good for you guys.
Patriarchy, where we're sending all of those bitches to camps.
I honestly was convinced that the women were going to rule this election because when we went to our polling place locally here in Jefferson City, I noticed an overwhelming amount of women.
Well, you know what?
Like these really leftist-looking women.
But and this is why people like Joy Reid and Sunny Hostin and The View. This is why these bitches are mad because the white women voted for Donald Trump. Yes.
Yeah. I am so surprised because
the black bitches
the women in my circle, my mom, my sister, they are true Harris fans.
Yeah. Oh, dude, your sister-in-law is in town this weekend, and she's like a blue state Democrat.
Yes.
And dude, she's like, I haven't seen her since the Trump election.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it.
She's like, how could you not talk about the biggest news in the world and all that kind of stuff? Just wish me luck, guys.
The funny thing is, I was honestly a Debbie Downer on election day.
Yes.
Because I was telling everyone, I'm like, okay, let's not get too overconfident. I just had this gut feeling, and I think John Rail had it too. Mm-hmm. I think Amy Easley had it as well, that Trump was not going to win. Mm-hmm. I just felt like the media, how they were portraying it, Harris was so popular. But you know what? The media, they duped me.
Yes.
And
talk about that. Talk about that, Stephanie, because then I was telling you about how much the media is so completely disconnected from normal society, and how I remember when I was in the shower this morning and I was explaining.
We always have great chats while he's in the shower.
You know how I was explaining to you about how like the corporate media works and how it's like the corporate media represents the interests of the advertisers and of the people who are like the elites who can run those kinds of institutions.
Right. Like you said, the vaccine companies.
The vaccine companies. You can't say something bad about the coronavirus vaccine and take $100 million from Pfizer for their advertising campaigns, right? Yeah. And it works the same on any level, right? Like when I worked at Zimmer, I couldn't say, and I was on the radio, I couldn't say Rosebud Tractor has crappy tractors. You know what I mean? They're their advertisers. So there's a conflict of interest there that you'll always have to some extent in the media, right? For my thing is the nice thing about like power to the people media is that like I love Nelson and I love like some of our good friends, and they will donate like $5 Rumble Rants here or there.
Yeah.
But if Nelson gets pissed at me or leaves or whatever, and is not a part of our show anymore, it's not going to bring the whole empire collapsing down. Right. So like the democratization, the true use of the word, the democratization of the media, and Elon Musk was talking about this, about how like the new media is us, we the people.
Right.
And it reduces that conflict of interest, right? Unless you see me taking like tens of millions of dollars from like Pfizer, but like, I'm bought out by big gold when gold companies
all of those
decide to
influencers
sponsor.
that were funded by Russia.
Yeah, the Russian money influencers that came in.
I should be smart enough to know this, that the news is still has propaganda.
Yes.
It's all around us. And so the news purposely plays pro-Harris clips showing large crowds at her rallies.
Yes, they lie. And your mother, she like watches that stuff.
Oh, and she was really getting on you last night because you were talking to her about how Trump won. And she's like, but Trump still has all these convictions.
They were fading away.
He's still a bad man. And you're like, well, isn't it funny that nobody really cares about these convictions anymore? And that
they're already starting to disappear. I'm reading the Wall Street Journal this morning, and Jack Smith loses in the People's Court is the big op-ed today over in the Wall Street Journal opinion. If Democrats want some sage counsel on how to this is not that story. To how to recover from their electoral drubbing, we suggest they recall that classic relationship breakup line from Seinfeld's George Costanza. It's not you, it's me. Yes, it's not you, it's me. It's there. They've got the problem. This is not the Jack Smith case. Hold on, I've got that coming up. Voters render a negative verdict on the of course it's screwing up. Americans on Tuesday voted to re-elect Trump, and in doing so, they also rendered a verdict on the criminal prosecutions against him. They don't think the cases are disqualifying for the White House, and that means the best result for the country would be for them to go away. News reports say Special Counsel Jack Smith is in talks with Justice Department leaders about how to wind down his work, and the best way to proceed would be for Attorney General Merrick Garland to make the decision for him. God, that's going to be such a painful thing. The Democrats are they're screaming out in pain, internally, what you see from the TikTok psychopaths and the Looney Tunes, you got to understand is happening as well on the elite. I heard yesterday that they almost were fist fights in the White House between the Biden staffers and the Harris staffers because they're so salty at each other. Now the Democrats are starting to blame Joe Biden for not stepping down earlier. It was that was his fault. And you know what? Maybe it's true.
I think it's true.
Yeah. Did you see the picture of Joe Biden smiling, grinning from ear to ear?
You were talking about it. I haven't seen it, though.
I knew it. I knew that Dark Brandon, I knew that Joe was on our side.
When his wife was wearing that red dress.
Yes. Joe Biden showed up to vote.
Yeah.
Wearing the red dress. And it was that's a little weird because I think that Joe Biden was it was one final FU because I have not seen him smiling or that happy in the beginning.
And I bet you anything his dementia's gone now.
Well, what do you mean the dementia's gone? That's a conspiracy theory.
Maybe it was just all an act.
What do you mean it was all an act, Stephanie? What are you trying to say here?
I don't know. There's some sort of insider stuff happening.
Yeah, Stephanie.
Maybe Biden is now a Republican and he's just done with it. And he's like, let's just let the Republicans rule.
Stephanie, I got to post something online real quick. I need you to do me an ad read and tell our audience about our delicious Founding Flavors coffee. Will you please?
I sure will. Have you ever heard of Founding Flavors coffee? It is dedicated to our founding fathers of the United States. We have all sorts of flavors here. We have light roast, medium roast, dark roast, decaf, and single origin coffee. So something for everyone. We have Franklin's Electric Elixir. Electrify your senses with Franklin's Electric Elixir, a medium roast embodying the spark of freedom with its rich hazelnut and caramel notes, a haven of warmth in winter's cold. So that would actually be perfect for this warm weather here. And I always make it for Austin every morning, and you see how energized he is, and it's because of the Founding Flavors coffee, and it definitely sparks a little revolution in your body every single morning.
Speaking of revolution, I hope people don't revolt against me, but I have some bad news. We're not going to be able to get Martha's Mint this year.
Oh,
because they want us to pay so we didn't sell the K-Cups, right? Then you had to pay the $50 a month.
There was one person that bought
There was one person the K-Cups. And then in order to get the Martha's Mint, the specialty holiday flavors this year, they want you to pay a monthly fee, which would kill our profitability. Basically, what we would have to pay to offer those is what we make on the coffee a month.
Right.
So we wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Well, if we can have enough people say they want Martha's Mint, then maybe it would be worth it for
I don't think it would, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it wouldn't, just because there really just aren't enough people that buy it. I mean, like
profit margins are way too small.
coffee sells reasonably well overall. It's like one of our top products, but the margins are so thin on it that it's like it's hard. We can't offer like discounts and different things on it, so it's really a tough business. But we keep it there because when we make sales on it and people do like coffee and they come back for it, we collect customer data and hopefully we can send them an email later and sell them something that we make a margin on.
We actually are going to have some really cool holiday bundles coming out that involve this coffee. So like you'll be able to get this coffee plus a discounted product. So definitely look out for that.
And here's what Fred did, and he's smart because he used his 20% discount code. He bought a Doge field agent tea.
Nice.
The Department of Government Efficiency, the Doge field agent tea.
Those have been selling very well. In addition to the dark MAGA hats. Buying those like
Dude,
crazy.
we sell like 2 or 3 of those a day.
I know.
Yeah, we've got Liberal Tears mugs and the Doge products. We've got so many awesome like stickers and we've got mouse pads and we have a whole line, a whole collection. I got trucker hats. But Fred got a field agent tea and he used his 20% discount off. So he saved like $7 on that. So there you go.
Wow. That's wonderful.
Because if you're a monthly subscriber to the show,
yes,
for at any level, anywhere, you get the discount. So you get that 20% discount.
And talking about subscribers, so I literally am going to be ordering these cards, I would say by next week, because I have to start literally hand addressing them and putting them all in envelopes and getting our list together. So if you want one of our holiday cards that has a photo of me, Hazel, and Austin on it, you need to sign up to support our show at wakeupamericashow.com/support. And you need to pledge to be a Peterson's Patriot, which is $17.76 a month or higher. So that right there is the cutoff, either $17.76 or higher. You all will get our holiday cards in addition to the 20% off discount, in addition to monthly giveaways.
Like this today.
Gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just going off on all kinds of tangents here.
I've got a clip ready to go after this, but we're going to do a giveaway today of free earrings. We the People Constitution earrings.
People earrings. These are actually super cute. I would want to keep them for myself, but no, you guys are way more important.
There you go.
Way more deserving.
So this is for people who are the monthly subscribers.
Yeah, so we're going to choose one of you.
If you already are a monthly subscriber, then you're already entered to win, and I'll go through the list of those. If you are not a monthly subscriber, today's a good day to do it. And you could do it here on Rumble. We have a lot of monthly subscribers.
A monthly subscriber can mean a lot of things, right?
It just means that they do a donation on a monthly basis.
And that could be on your Twitter,
your YouTube,
it
could be
anywhere.
on YouTube, it could be on coffee. If you're a coffee subscriber, monthly subscriber, you have that delivered, you're on the list. Or if you're a just straight up donor at wakeupamericashow.com/support. So today we're going to give away some really beautiful Constitution earrings. Bring them back a little like this. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me show. There we go. We the people. There you go.
I should take them out of the plastic.
There we go. Donald Trump.
Keep them clean.
Donald Trump takes aim at a target that a lot of people have been talking about in the news the last 3 years. Take a listen to this.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
If I were in the LGBTQ plus community, I would be slightly nervous right now.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, not every gay person is transgender.
No.
You know, it's
not.
a mistake. It's LGB dropped the T. It's a mistake to assume that their political interests are aligned. Right? It's
right.
a mistake.
Yeah, they're not. They're all very different.
Exactly. So I think,
and they all bash each other too within their own community.
Well, and the thing that is big is that they're going to go after those doctors. They're going to sue these doctors. Yeah. Remember, we had that situation here at that hospital in St. Louis, and that whistleblower came out.
Yeah.
Bro, those are the people who are afraid, and they should be afraid because we're going to put them all in camps.
I wonder, you know how he said something about the care for all ages? Mm-hmm. So does he mean he's getting rid of care for adults too?
My guess is that it means no longer that if you're in like the military, for example, would you get surgery, federal assistance to do surgery, and you certainly are not going to get it as a prisoner, you know.
Right. Yes. Yeah, because I still believe, my personal beliefs are, if you're an adult, I see transgender reassignment surgery, I see that as just like plastic surgery. So for adults, I think plastic surgery should totally be legal. If you want to do it and you're a consenting adult, do it. But for kids, I agree with Trump. I don't think you should be able to do that to your child unless it's some sort of a life or death situation where like your child is literally dying and they need medical care. But I don't know why they would need gender reassignment surgery for that. I want to talk about some of the celebrity meltdowns, not just the regular people meltdowns. But before we do, I thought this was very sweet. This is a very positive, less kind of like terrifying kind of thing from Donald Trump. One of his statements, terrifying, not to me or to the left, but I mean, I just really liked this comment that he made.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. Yeah. We have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be
This is like the state fair that was in. This is like the World Fair St. Louis level. I don't know if you know much about like the Great State Fair of history of like 1900. I think it was 1901. That was in France, but there was one here in St. Louis. St. Louis.
There's always really cool inventions that people bring.
World Fair. And it was the St. Louis World's Fair, 1904.
Yes,
that was the big one, right?
Don't have World Fairs anymore.
It's expensive and all that kind of stuff. But I mean,
so cool.
The fair celebrated the Louisiana Purchase Exposition of 1904. The fair celebrated the centennial of Jefferson's fantastic real estate deal with Napoleon Bonaparte. $15 million for 600 million acres of the Louisiana territories. The deal was struck in 1803, but it took until 1804 for word of the transaction to reach St. Louis. Then Lewis and Clark departed St. Louis to map the newly minted U.S. lands.
Thomas Jefferson wasn't exactly being a good boy. He was giving federal funds for his own dreams of westward expansion.
Now and it was the right move.
I know it was the right move, but it wasn't exactly constitutional.
Yes, but this is why it's important for libertarians. This is why it's important for libertarians to, and this is why I was arguing with the judge this week about this.
I got to watch back and see how the judge reacted to Trump winning.
not happy, right?
Okay.
You know, so, but I was telling the judge, I was like, I explained to him, I was like, George W. Bush got in trouble because he said the Constitution is not a suicide pact, and he's right. And just like, but I also went one further and I said a heresy to the judge. I said the non-aggression principle is not a suicide pact either. Yes, it was like, oh my God. Yeah, the libertarians must be very scandalized by that. If your philosophy, if you think that there is some philosophy, I'm a libertarian, but libertarianism applied evenly, consistently, is not going to always produce necessarily the best results.
Right.
And also, let's just factor in the problem of the fact that two libertarians can't even agree on issues. Like Murray Rothbard was pro-choice and Ron Paul was pro-life. So I don't want to hear any like more sanctimonious bitch-ass lectures from like the libertarian crowd that endorsed Donald Trump a week, or that said they're voting for Donald Trump the week before the election was over and all this shit. Is that these people, they think they're not really pragmatic because you don't understand that like you have to do what's in your citizens' best interests, you know, even if the guys, the awesome dead guys from 250 years ago said, you know, you can't create a, you know, a gigantic land deal that will benefit all the citizens of the United States.
Fathers, they messed with their own constitution. They went against it.
Yes.
With their own actions.
They did. They went against it for their own actions. They realized, and Thomas Jefferson, like noted like anti-war, libertarian, you know, anti-foreign alliance guy, you know, what did they do? Went to war, built the U.S. Navy, created the U.S. Marines, killed the shit out of Muslim terrorists in the Middle East. Like that is reality. That is when the rubber hits the road. That's why all these people, and I'm so excited because I saw the news. Javier Milei is coming to meet with Trump.
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you'll be able to meet them both.
I hope so.
Day.
I hope so. I did meet Trump once, very briefly, when I was in the green room at Fox News once. But
that's cool.
But Javier Milei is like the guy that I'm really excited to meet. But anyways,
I feel like Donald Trump is like that great uncle that is just really cool and rich that you just want to like.
Oh yeah, can you imagine having him as your uncle?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
he'd just call you up for your birthday. He'd be like, "Happy birthday!"
Yeah, we've only got 15 minutes till Justin gets here. I know he's going to want to weigh in on this. Play a clip. Sponsor a butthurt Hollywood celebrity for just $8 a month.
Today, Hollywood celebrities face the worst day of their lives. This is Stephen and Mark, and today someone they don't like became president for the second time. Under Donald Trump's evil fascist Nazi regime, Stephen and Mark could face persecution.
Yep.
People could make memes about them, point, laugh, and say terrible things like, "Look at those two, they're gay." They can only guess at the abuse that lies ahead. Millions of Hollywood celebrities are in fear for their lives. We can't hope to save them all, but you can do your part. For just $8 a month, we can help to find a new home for Stephen and Mark. You'll receive a starter pack with a plushie of Stephen and Mark, and every month they'll drop you a note to let you know how they're getting on. So reach deep into those pockets today, because today could be Stephen and Mark's last.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I love that idea. It's so creative.
The celebrity butthurt has been.
But you know who did win?
So who won?
The Jews.
Oh, the Jews. L'chaim.
That's right. And the Jews make up Hollywood. And Hollywood hires the celebrity.
Well, the funny thing about that is like we're always hearing these lectures from the anti-Semites about Jewish power. The judge said something about that on Wednesday, but I didn't want to get into it with him. He's talking about the Jewish financiers, like yeah,
they got money. Okay.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the Catholic financiers, right? Does he want to hear about that? Because we can talk about
they give a lot of money.
Yeah, right. Like the conspiracy of the Jews, of the Hasidic Jews, to get Donald Trump elected. When they pulled up the map of New York City, they're in an ocean of blue. There were small seas of red. Do you know what the red parts of New York City were?
Was it the Hasidic?
It was
population?
the Hasidim. Oh, yeah, they were the Hasidim showed up for Donald Trump.
Wow.
And you get all these like anti-Semites out there who are like, the Jews want the deep state to be bigger and to control us all. The Illuminati conspiracy. Their hook noses are how they get the coins and the shekels.
Right.
And go, Shabbos goy.
Well, here's the thing: the secular Jews, they are usually Democrats. So the people who are not super religious Jewish, they're usually very Democrat, and they're very rich. Now, the thing about the Orthodox Jews is they're not always very rich.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Michigan, they actually live in Oak Park, which is an area that is very close to Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like the ghetto out in
Yeah.
Oak Park. So that's where it's like religious Jews and non-religious Jews are actually very different.
Yeah. Floby Tenderson on the chat says, yeah, Dave Smith said it. Israel's going to win either way. Dave Smith's a pussy ass bitch. Johnny come lately, getting on the Trump train 2 days before. Clint
He
Russell.
shouldn't even be talking about the Middle East anymore.
Let's not hear about the Middle East. He's now supporting he supported the most, voted for the most pro-Israel candidate on the ballot for pragmatism. Well, on my level of pragmatism just means that I think Israel is a better country than the countries that want to destroy them, and that they should kill the terrorist Hamas. And I noted that as soon as Donald Trump won, Hamas, what did they do?
They said they want some peace talks and they want a ceasefire.
That's right. Donald Trump was the peace candidate.
Oh yeah.
I saw
know that they're going to be in big trouble if they continue.
I saw Clint Russell too. He's like, "This is the hardest decision I've ever made in my life to vote for Donald Trump, and it was so difficult for me." Yeah, whatever, bitch. You just want to be part of the cool kids club before it's too late. Right. And then I saw Jeremy Kaufman was posting like, Austin Peterson and Tom Woods and Dave Smith and Clint Russell did so much to try to get Trump elected. I'm like, they didn't do shit, nigga. They didn't do jack shit.
Smith was saying such horrible things about him on stage after he spoke.
Bloodthirsty warmonger.
Yeah.
He should be in jail for the rest of his life.
He literally made this decision to vote for him days.
And now I saw Dave was on Joe Rogan yesterday, and he was saying, "Oh, we got to stop the neocons from getting his cabinet. What are you going to do, bitch? Nobody's listening. They're not going to listen to you. You didn't do shit to support them."
But you did tell me a good reason why you do want to have some bad people behind you.
Yes, exactly.
Because then people are going to be freaked out by that.
Yeah, exactly.
With you when you got the neocons.
I'm tired of these bitch ass niggas coming in and acting like they get all the credit for they didn't do jack shit. Who showed up who showed up to the Cole County Republican Party Delegate Day election panel? Austin and Steffi. Yeah, that's right.
Took everything in my heart to do it. I wanted to appoint Vivek. I wanted to be the only one there that voted for
these
Vivek.
Bitch ass niggas, man. They spent months raking me over the coals. Austin is a libertarian. Before it was cool, AP was Trump. Before it was cool.
Oh, yeah. And you actually had somebody write to you just the other day saying, "Thank you, Austin."
Yeah, I want to read this. I don't, if I don't pat myself on the back, then, Steffi's the only one who can. Here's somebody said this. "Hey, dude, just want to give you props for having the stones and foresight to throw support behind Trump early on. The holier than thou libertarians who stuck their nose up at the idea only to end up coming around in the end didn't show any courage. You did. Great work."
Yeah. It's so sad. It's just... I've always wished that the world would change.
Bitch
the world
ass niggas
continues to be the same, and that the cool people always come out on top.
Yes. And meanwhile, the rest of us have to suffer under their faggotry.
Right.
Anyways.
Even though you're way more moral, you're way more principled, you're way more talented.
Well, the thing is that it's it doesn't matter. It's not about that, right? It's about what you can get, right? Mm-hmm. That's all people care about. What can you do for me and all that kind of stuff. It's like that speech, the Summer Soldiers, right? What was the Thomas? There's my favorite founding fathers, the Summer Soldiers.
Oh, I don't know this.
And the Sunshine Patriots. You don't know this one? The Summer Soldiers and the Sunshine Patriots?
No.
Quote from Thomas Paine. Let me read it to you. Here's my man. "These are the times."
Oh, we have a copy for that.
Hold up, Thomas Paine. Here it is.
Do we have it here?
Yes, we do.
There it is.
"These are the times that try men's souls. The Summer Soldier and the Sunshine Patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation to us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated."
Whoa.
The Summer Patriots The Summer Soldier and the Sunshine Patriots, that is a reference to in the American Revolution that the way that some of the contracts worked for, especially like the militia, is that you would sign up for a certain time. And then when your time was over as a soldier, you could go home. And some of them would only, because they had families and farms that they had to
worker.
They were a seasonal worker, but a seasonal soldier.
That's fun.
So Thomas Paine was like trying to convince them, like, we need you at Valley Forge, right? We need you here, right? But not all of the American patriots, quote unquote, were in Valley Forge, right, with George Washington and eating onions like that they were picking out of the frozen ground. The Summer Soldier and the Sunshine Patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. But I really like Thomas Paine. I like Thomas Paine's quote, but I like the Mark Twain quote even better because I think it's even more analogous to this situation. Costs nothing to be a patriot.
Elon Musk said yesterday.
Here it is.
The truth will set you free.
Here it is. In the beginning of a change, the patriot is a scarce man and brave and hated and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him. For then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Thank you, Mark Twain.
There you go. Yes, those other libertarians are the timid.
Yeah, well, they get on board once it's already won. It's kind of like I told you about that country that joined World War II on the Allies side like 10 days before Hitler offed himself or went to Argentina. Bucks Nasty donated $10, says, often out of periods of losing come the greatest strivings towards a new winning streak. Amen. Amen. We've got Justin Peterson joining us live in less than 10 minutes.
Doc today?
We do not have a mini documentary today, so don't get mad.
Donations go to the baby cam today.
Yes, so we will if we hit $100 by the end of the show, and we did sell a T-shirt, and we have raised like 10, 15-ish bucks or so. So we're at about $40 to $50 raised so far, which is good. Yeah. Keep it coming, guys. We'll still have a chance for unlocking the bonus baby. Jimmy Kimmel had a little incident, or a little, he got deep in his feels the other night. Take a listen.
Fragile little snowflake. What a blowhard. He's a blowhard and a snowflake. He's a blowflake is what he is. He should change the hats to say, make America whine again. It's more than half of this country voted for the criminal, still trying to figure out what happened. Fragile little snowflake.
I mean, why is he so sad? How is his life going to be affected?
Because we're going to put him in the concentration camps.
I really want to know what's in these people's heads. Like, what do they think is going to happen?
Yes. Cecilia H. decided to bless me with something.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you stop it?
Cecilia is always
She's
so
awesome.
great
Thank you, Cecilia. We appreciate it. Here's the full Jimmy Kimmel cry up.
Let's be honest. It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science.
Majority of women voted for Trump.
For journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security.
These guys said the free speech. It was a bad night for free speech, meaning we can't clamp down on it. They were the biggest censors. They were the biggest suppressors of free speech. They are projecting. Thank you, Entropy Nomad. Our tears sustain you.
Oh, thank you so much.
FYI, we do have this beautiful Liberal Tears Camelback water bottle, 20 ounces, and that includes shipping. You can get a Liberal Tears Camelback water bottle. These are super high quality.
That so you can take it to karate.
I do. Oh, yeah, there we go. Liberal Tears Camelback water bottle available at
we don't like to
4libertyshop.com.
drink out of the plastic anymore because it hurts your man parts.
Yeah, it puts the puts the plastic in my testicles.
Yeah,
it's like,
we don't want that for when we have child number 2.
That's right. Baby number 2 on the way, right?
Yeah, people already think I'm pregnant. Because I was talking about chocolate milk the other day, and on Twitter, they're like, "Are you
allies
pregnant?"
in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth,
NATO,
and
He loves
democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him too. You just don't realize it yet.
We don't know. We're too stupid. We're too stupid. Camps. Well,
I'm
camps. Not you. No. Jimmy Kimmel to the camps.
Everybody other than the Jews,
Camps.
apparently.
Everybody but the Jews, because
Yeah.
the Jews helped Donald Trump
We
win.
had our time. We're done with
Exactly.
that. Been there, done that, guys.
Now we're not doing, again, it's not going to be about Jew. It's not about religion. It's not about racial, ethnic. It's none of that stuff. I'm not a racist. I want Jimmy Kimmel in the camps because of his ideology. I want every communist in the camp. Camps. Justin Peterson joining us live in less than 5. Will we send Justin to the camps? No, he's a normal gay.
Oh, yeah.
Normal gays for Trumps. He won't have to wear the pink triangle. Yeah. So Justin gets a get out of the camp free card because he voted for Trump.
We might have to put him underneath our floorboard.
We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian, and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist! Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins!
I was just walking down the street to go get my medication because I'm out and I need it for today. And I saw a woman walking her 2 kids. And she had this look on her face. And I looked at her, we made eye contact, and we both kind of nodded. Like we were both just devastated. And you could just tell in her eyes. I can't believe this country did this again. Why did I let myself have hope?
Camps. 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 Send her to the camps. Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Click that like button, because I know some of you haven't. We got a lot of people over there with not a lot of likes. Boo, boo. I will not bow to the kings and queens of slime. If you haven't clicked the like button, get out. I'm just kidding. Don't leave. But click the like button. We'd be glad to have you hang out with me and my family. My smoking hot redheaded libertarian wife, Stephanie, still in studio.
Oh, can I just say that is the reason why you do need to take your medicine. If you don't take your medicine, that is exactly what's going to happen to you. You are going to feel really emotional.
You can't have
Don't be like her.
You can't have your pudding if you don't eat your meat, says my next guest, Justin Peterson. Take your medicine, JP.
Good morning.
Medication time.
Good morning, Justin.
Good morning.
How are your therapy sessions this week going?
Honestly, mine was great. Mine was great. I was just like, yeah.
Are you sleeping well, Justin?
You know, my therapist is so funny. You know, I was thinking about that this morning, actually. She's like, I think I'm one of the few patients who goes into therapy who the therapist goes, wow, your family's really kind of well-adjusted.
We are well-adjusted, aren't we?
I mean, really, for the most part, yeah. I get points. I'm going to win therapy, I've decided. That's my goal. I'm going to win therapy. Yeah.
Maybe you just don't need therapy anymore. Maybe
well,
that's what
I'm just going to use ChatGPT. That's my new.
Yeah.
That'll be my new therapist. I'll just be like, ChatGPT, I'm feeling kind of blue, and then it'll say, well, here's what you should do. Yeah, for real.
I'm glad you're here, Justin. Thank you so much for joining us. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and give you the stage, Justin. Your reaction to Donald Trump's massive win.
So first of all, watch the thing. I stayed up till 3 a.m, so I was just like everybody else, staying up late because I wasn't gonna give up until the bitter end. Here's my takeaway. I think that anybody that's shocked by this is uninformed. Like if anybody is taken aback by what has happened here this week, you need to seriously evaluate the media content that you are consuming, because all of us who have paid attention to lots of different voices, have listened to the long form podcasts, have listened to these deep conversations, are not in any way surprised by this election. And I'm really always amazed by, you can tell, like when you get one media source, or when you have 2, media sources that are already confirming your pre-existing biases, you're going to be totally shocked because those media sources are lying to you. That's the thing that I got a lot. And the fear-mongering, here's the things I've noticed. The fear-mongering, clearly. Also the inability of the losing party to learn anything. Like they had 2 options after this election. They could, one, take a step back, which some of them have done. Bernie Sanders has done. Bernie Sanders has stepped back to say, hey, we need to reevaluate our messaging to the working class. Well, that's the first option you can do. But the second option I saw more and more and more was they were all doubling down on the rhetoric. They were all doubling down on calling everybody racists, calling everybody homophobes, calling everybody transphobes.
They did promise.
Like, wow.
They did promise a peaceful transfer to Adolf Hitler.
Adolf Hitler, right? Yeah.
Well,
No,
Justin,
yeah.
I'm one of the people that you're talking about. I was duped by the media because honestly,
Same.
I was a negative Nancy during the entire election day, and I was like, "Hey, you guys, you're putting the cart before the horse. Like, let's not do this. I don't know if we're going to have a win here," because the media made me think that Harris was popular.
Right.
So
Well,
it's amazing how easily our brains can be manipulated, even if we're not woke.
This is the thing, though, that one of the takeaways that I took from this week is how angry really I am at the media, because many people that I know and love dearly in my life are unhinged by what's happened, and they have allowed the media to lie to them, and they have absorbed all of their political views from TikTok, from Instagram, from social media, from the news. They have not looked at things in a more broad context. And it's hard to blame the victim, because I feel like, we're in this place where the media, well, first of all, the election was a referendum on that, right? I mean, there's a referendum on all of us being lied to for the past 10 years by the media, since, starting with George Floyd, which is where my, waking up began. When you're telling me that people can go outside during a pandemic, and it's fine, but because drugs or viruses won't spread at a racial event. Like, are you serious? So the fact that these people have been lied to for so long, people that are good, this is the thing that makes me so angry, is that there are wonderful, good, kind-hearted people that care about people, and they're just being lied to and drinking this stuff down deep, and it's devastating. And that's the true enemy. That's the true enemy, because I think we're all fighting with each other. I'm like, we're thinking this is a left-right battle. This is a top-bottom battle.
No, it is. It is a top-bottom battle. It's not yeah, exactly. It's about the people who have the power and express it over us.
100%.
Those are our opponents. I was telling Stephanie, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, I don't know if you were hearing us talking about the corporate media and why is it so out of touch with the rest of America? Well, I mean, CNN couldn't go against Pfizer during the pandemic because they
were sponsored.
They're sponsored, right? It would have been like, this is a feature, not a bug, because the way the corporate advertising dollars works, you can't trash your sponsor, right?
Literally, CNN sponsored by Pfizer,
right?
Sponsored by Pfizer. I'm like, right? Seriously?
And then we're surprised when they're all pro-vax.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and here we have to remember. Go back with me. 2008, Occupy Wall Street. There was a convergence occurring between the Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street, where the two factors were beginning to coalesce around a common enemy, which was all of these deep state people, all of the media. Bernie Sanders was the figurehead of this, right? And
really?
The Democratic Party threw him out because the deep state could not have that populist Bernie Sanders coming in and pulling the attention. So the Tea Party then rose up, and out of the Tea Party rises Donald Trump. Right? So Donald Trump he just got there first, man. So the fact that all these Bernie bros and these people who are supporting Bernie are going to get into the Democratic bucket doesn't make any sense to me, because the political values, the horseshoe theory of politics, it is real. And I see it all the time, where these parties coalesce. They're so close. They're so close to getting each other and realizing what the common enemy is, but then the powers that be have to divert us all into racism. And that's why the racism conversations have occurred. Because since 2000, we were not having these conversations about race this, race that, race this, race that. It's because the powers that be said, we got to get these people fighting with each other again. We've got to get them arguing with each other again.
I liked what you posted, Justin, when you were talking about the Joe Rogan thing, the situation. Some lefty professor was talking about, we need to have our own Joe Rogan. And I think you liked the post where I said, you had Joe Rogan.
You had him.
You had him.
His name was Joe Rogan.
he was a Bernie supporter. He was
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like are you going to seriously tell me that you saw Tulsi Gabbard run for president as a Democrat,
right,
and then leave the party and join the Republicans? You saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. run for president as a Democrat. You literally kicked a Kennedy out of the Democratic Party, and then Elon Musk, another Democrat who back in the day supported Barack Obama, now joins the Republican Party and is, I think, in many ways largely responsible for Donald Trump winning. But I mean, it was everybody else's fault but theirs. Everybody else was to blame for their failures except for themselves. They're not going to take a good hard look in the mirror, you know, and if they are, it's just to shave their heads.
So it makes me so mad because reading all these comments online, reading all these people, like I have there's a guy in New York City who's an agent to a lot of opera singers. And, you know, he came out and sort of posted this hopeful post about Trump and the administration going forward. You know, it looked to be rather reconciliatory, right? I mean, you know, in good faith. And you would not believe, I can't be friends with a racist, homophobic, blah, 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 blah. And
you can't be friends with Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Which if you're brainwashed, it's true. How can you be friends with Hitler if you really think he's Hitler? You're brainwashed.
But here's the thing. I just was like, this is the exact rhetoric that lost you the election. You're doing exactly that. You're doubling down. It can't be, you know, it can't be that my political views are wrong. No, blacks and Latinos must be racist. It cannot be that your politics are wrong. It has to be that black people and Latinos, well, they're white supremacists now. I mean, they'll do anything but take accountability for their stupid policies and what they've done.
And can we talk too about like the women thing, the whole women question here? Because in the days running up to the election, they were showing some of the early voting statistics that like women were voting 10 points at a 10-point higher level than men. And so there was this belief that, you know, it was going to be girl power, girl boss. We were going to take it back. Taylor Swift was turning out the Swifties, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But in the end, one, men showed up. And then two, white women voted for Donald Trump. So now like you've got the Joy Reids of the Joy, but you've got the race hustlers in the media, MSNBC, Sunny Hostin, and others, and they're mad now. It's not a woman thing anymore. There's no solidarity amongst the females today because the black women voted for Kamala, the white women voted for Donald Trump. So their hopeful optimism of this giant coalition of vagina power did not emerge. But this election, to some extent, was a referendum on the battle of the sexes that is happening in this country.
Yes.
Is it not?
Yeah. Immutable characteristics are not hostage statuses, right? You don't get to hold people hostage for their race, for their sex, for their gender expression, for their sexuality. We are not force-teamed. We are individuals. Stop trying to collectivize people into groups. We do not share common values. We do not share common views. There are gay Muslims. You know what I mean? Like we are a diverse country, and collectivism is cancer and poison. It is poison. And clearly this is proof of that, right? I am so tired of having a gun held to my head and being told who I should vote for, how I should think, how I should behave in the world, who I should support, who my allies should be, merely on an immutable characteristic of which I had no decision. It's absolutely wrong. And we have history to show us how these kinds of ideas play out. It's evil. As far as it's satanic, as far as I'm concerned.
just in. Real Michael Neal over in the chat dropped $20 in the tip jar. Thanks, brother. Said he'd like us to watch a vid that he sent us about some of these points about tariffs. He says he seems true and legit. And you donated $20, so we read the Rumble rant. We will definitely check out the video. Thank you, Real Michael Neal. Go ahead, Stephanie. You were going to make a point.
I was just going to say, I hope that women now realize that they cannot trust each other. Women have lied to each other for so long. They've all been like, yes, queen, you're a 10. They're lying. And this election season, we've seen too that the women, they're all like, oh yeah, we're voting for Harris. And they got to the ballot box and they voted for Trump. So sorry.
I mean,
ladies.
there's a reckoning that has to come. Like Stephanie and I were having this conversation in the car on the way over. We're talking about like women and their place in society. Women in modern society have rights without an accordant responsibility. So Justin and I, in order for us to exercise, you make that face, Justin. Why?
No, because because the question about voting to send men to war when you yourself will not go is a very salient.
Yeah, my body, your body, my choice.
Right.
Right. This is not. Like the problem is that you can't enfranchise a group of society without and then give one of them an accordant responsibility that the other one does not have. And I'm not suggesting that we need to draft women. I'm suggesting we should abolish the selective service, obviously, but still, at the end of the day, it is a equality for modern women in the American society would be a step down for women. They don't want and we have this. There's this discordance between male and female in American society because of the responsibilities that are placed on men's shoulders. That have been the historic burden that we have to face, that all men must provide. All men, our lives may be forfeit, our bodies are forfeit. We saw this. We ran into this guy yesterday in the back shot place where I go to get my spinal tap or whatever. And this man, he's just had 17 years. This man had 17 years of having to get this shot. He works in heavy machinery. His body was destroyed. His back completely destroyed. He has no choice. This blue collar guy, he had recognized me from the radio. And so we were chatting about politics and stuff. And he was just like, I've got about hopefully 17 more years of work in me. But he's like, if I have to get a fuse or whatever, then I'm not going to be able to work. And there's nothing else he can do. This is his job. He has to work and provide for his family.
Right.
But the thing is that now women are competing in the workplace with men. Now women want to have all of these rights, but they don't want the accordant responsibilities that come along with them. Or most importantly, I think the real word here is that the modern American female is going to have to accept accountability.
Yes, I think
accountability is the word. That's the danger word there, because to be accountable means that you have to pay for your sins.
Yeah.
Right. That you can't get everything that you want all of the time, and you stamp your feet 5'2" with an attitude, itty bitty titties and a bob, and think that everything is going to be handed to you on a single platter. If you want to work and compete with men, that's fine. But when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion standards in the marketplace, bitch, you're going to have to get in line like every other person for that job. And you better hope that the boss is still in a 1980s attitude and thinks you're cute and wants to hire you and put you in there, because it should be the best man for the job. And now we need to have a conversation about whether or not it is a good idea to have a woman president, because I saw Christina Applegate, for example. She was responding to this, I believe it was a troll tweet, but I was laughing nonetheless. When someone tweeted this yesterday, Christina Applegate, a literal celebrity, commenting, like responding to a literal no one over on X.com, which is why I will never get rid of the platform. It is so fun and so much funny.
I think Twitter is the best way to reach celebrities.
The problem, here's what here's Eddie Good, some nobody with a fake avatar, says. The problem is women can't think straight 1 week out of the month, and that's not good for a president, and the American people knew that. As if to prove his point, Christina Applegate, are you kidding me? Get on the phone now. Give me your number.
Oh, my God.
Okay, but I mean, isn't that kind of the problem?
Well,
give me your number. Wow.
I mean, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, because I know.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Because if you want a female nurse, right? If you think that nurses, if you want to have a female nurse for women to do this, and you want to have, and it's okay for us to say, yeah, the majority of people in this profession are nurses, then there's a reason why the majority of presidents are men, right? If we wanted a woman president, then she has to be a Republican.
Margaret Thatcher, right?
Exactly.
Thatcher.
Exactly. Yeah. No. We're not going to be tyrannized. We're not going to be tyrannized by the Swifties. We're not going to be we're not going to be bullied by these
coercion.
We're not going to be bullied by the HR department of our society. These leftist liberal Karens are not going to push us around anymore, and men have a rightful place in society, and they should take their rightful place in society and perform their roles. The problem, of course, is that chivalry was a set of expectations placed on men for their behavior towards women. Modern society still demands that that women and children get on the lifeboats first, but we don't live in that world anymore.
Well, you're so right, because I think that's I don't know if anybody, okay, I'm going to out myself. I like to watch this guy called Homath, Hoemath.
Yes.
He's one of my favorite follows. I mean,
Yes.
I'm
If
just,
you're
'cause
having
I'm just
trouble getting
fascinated-
dates.
I'm just fascinated by the relationships of the sexes. I'm just sort of, and I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I opted out of this. But, he says something really funny. He says, you cannot have chivalry and equality at the same time, right? Because chivalry is operating under a complete set of different moral standards, social mores, and codes, right? It's a completely different system. They're not compatible with each other, right? They are not built upon the same foundational framework. So I always thought that was you're making kind of that point. You're basically saying you can't have chivalry and equality at the same time.
That's right.
And of course, I love to watch that channel because it's a fascinating sort of sociological.
I've got the video pulled up of the Sigma Nu frat boys. They're all dressed like Donald Trump here. And now they're doing the Donald Trump dance.
The double hand job.
Double hand job. This is why Justin really wanted to get on the Trump movement.
Yeah, that was what sold me. This is Friday night. Let's go. No, I'm kidding. No.
But we need male nurses. They do a great job. Sure. Okay. And I'm willing to say that we might need a female president to save us from a male Democrat or a Tim Walz or something like that. But it's got to be the right strong. It's got to be a woman that I don't have to worry that they're going to get taken advantage of by foreign opponents. Like, foreign policy is a matter of tooth and claw and blood and tank and sweat and tears. It is not. It's not kid stuff. It's not child's play. It's not go get your Starbucks latte before you date your tech company where you do jack shit sitting on your ass.
Well, and this is the thing with the women, coming back to the women vote again. This referendum, of course, is that maybe women are having more problems at the grocery store than they are with abortions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, maybe they're having more on the ground, boots on the ground issues in their day-to-day life than, an abortion issue. It's like, there are more pressing issues, I think, right now in our society. So I'm sorry, I have so many ideas. My brain is running. I have about 5 trains running at the same time in my head, and they're all vying to get out.
We saw one Democrat video saying they're like, oh, the Trump people, they don't understand economics. They don't realize that the economy is going to be bad now.
Wait. Hold on. Guess
Democrats,
what?
You don't understand economics.
Guess who has a clip for that?
I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, oh, my God, Trump's going to win. I go, why is that? He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying. The 7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
They don't know.
They don't
Joe
know.
Scarborough. They had no idea.
Framed in gold?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They have
personal shoppers that shop for them, so they have no idea the cost of anything.
That is very damning. Before
you guys rant, I just need to pat myself on the back for having that clip ready to go, and it was perfect timing. I didn't plan it.
Yeah, that was very clutch.
I just want to say that was clutch. All right, go, Justin. Go, double hand job. And thank you to Andy Opperman. Thank you to Pulp Fiction Buff. He became a monthly supporter. It means he's eligible to win the We the People earrings. Yes, we're going to be giving these away at the end of the show, so don't forget.
Give them to the lady in your life.
Become like Pulp Fiction Buff. Become a monthly supporter, and you are entered to win the We the People earrings and more prize giveaways. Justin, damning, very damning, isn't it?
Absolutely. They have demonstrated time and time again that they have no pulse on what's going on. And yet did you see the clip with Tapper where they were looking at the map to see, did Harris outperform Biden in any location in the country? Did she oversee what Biden did? Not one. And Jake Tapper said, no, what? Not one? They're shocked by the information that comes into them. They are so clueless. But here's the problem. We have looked to these people as establishment institutions to tell us what's going on in our country, and we cannot rely on them anymore. We cannot look to them anymore. And here I will say, welcome the new media. Welcome the independent creators. That's all I've got to say. So good job, little brother. You saw that and you jumped in. So good for you.
Yeah, I'm ahead of my time, ahead of my time, ahead of his time, ahead of my time.
Oh, you were
ahead of my time. Yes. From now on,
it's going to be America first. Okay.
I always had my sights set on this, Justin. I mean, I saw back in 2007, 2008, our country headed towards a cliff, and Ron Paul was the only guy who was acknowledging it back then. In the early days, he was a lonely voice in the debates, talking about things like the deep state. Before that was just a conspiracy theory and all this stuff. Now the literal president of the United States elect is talking about how he's going to go after the deep state. He's going to fire government employees, make it easier to fire government employees. He's talking about going after he wants to make it legal to sue the doctors who performed this